From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Then the 9, when you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RP. Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat, yeah, shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big 4 to get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co.
All right.
It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big 4 to get out the gym.
LSU and Coastal Carolina will get it started tomorrow night in the Chuck as the Chanticleers and the Tigers will be getting the College World Series. I keep wanting to say kicked off, but rocking and rolling tomorrow night here in Omaha, Nebraska. We appreciate you all joining us as we're live a little later. No show this morning. Getting out of the Hilton, getting moved around as we are in the Airbnb here in Omaha, a little bit closer to the stadium now. As Christian, I just put out a video of Christian sleeping in his slumber. He's up and at him now.
Can I get the shot?
There he is. He's awake. He's awake. That hair's awake, too.
What's wrong
Looks
with the
nice.
hair?
No, you look great.
Yeah. I mean, I had to curl my feet up because
You were curled up.
Grown men.
There it is. We're back. Thank you all. Just refresh it today, this afternoon, as we are rolling through the technical difficulties in everything here from the Airbnb in Omaha, Nebraska. The headlines, like I was getting started, championship series starts tomorrow night, Coastal Carolina versus LSU. LSU assistant coach Josh Jordan will be staying in Baton Rouge as a part of Jay Johnson's Louisiana State University baseball program. He will not be taking the Duke head coaching position, as that will be going to the Wake Forest pitching coach. Lloyd, how big of a deal is it that your guy Josh Jordan is sticking around?
Huge. I think it was almost it had come to a decision, it felt like. Like, it felt like it was a full-blown, like, this is something that you've already kind of come to terms with.
Right.
With Jordan leaving and going to Duke because of all the history he had there, what he did when he recruited there. It all made sense for him to take that leap. But instead, Duke goes a different direction, goes Wake Forest pitching coach. So there goes their pitching lab. I guess he'll take that over to Duke. But, yeah, huge to get your guy back because when we've talked to Jay Johnson, and the one thing that I think everybody can attest to with Jay is the work ethic, right? Like, every time you drive by, it feels like he's there. And we always talk about when does the man sleep. And he was quick to point out that Josh Jordan, he goes, if there's somebody that works harder than me, is a guy on my staff, and it's Josh Jordan. He's here before I get here. And so to have that guy that's going to continue to help you recruit, going to keep being an integral part of your staff, I think is a massive, massive win for LSU.
Yeah, I agree. Carl Dunn, yeah, we're still beating Arkansas. That's all right. It doesn't matter if it's –
God.
No, it's okay. We can beat Arkansas every day of the week here on Tingle and Co. Like Lloyd said, I mean, that's a massive news for LSU baseball, getting Coach Josh Jordan to stick around. He is obviously Jay Johnson's right-hand man. He is huge to the identity of what LSU baseball has been the last couple of seasons, whether that's because of his recruiting prowess or him on third base coach swinging that arm around, sending him home, showing the base running aggressiveness. He's a massive piece of this LSU baseball identity that you've seen the last couple of years here under Jay Johnson's heading. So great news for us, for LSU baseball, and for us over at Tingle & Co. as our guy Josh Jordan is sticking around to keep it rolling here with the Tigers. Funny you guys ask about the weather, Lance James. How's the heat in Omaha? Next up in the headlines, Steve Caparata from WAFB put out, I think yesterday afternoon/evening, the weather report for Omaha this weekend for the finals between LSU and Coastal. There's an extreme heat warning that we've been getting on our phone since yesterday, but obviously for Saturday and Sunday, the daytime temps are near/above 100, and the heat index could reach 105 to 110. On Saturday, the high is 102, Sunday 99, and then Monday the high is only 90, but there is a storm threat on Monday as well, some thunderstorms. And throughout the weekend, especially Saturday and Sunday, winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusts of 30-plus, blowing from right to left. So that is the weather report for the Tigers this weekend. But, it's going to be nice and warm for LSU and Coastal here in the College World Series finals. Obviously, LSU just had practice, just wrapped up practice over in the Chuck. We got to see the guys out there working.
Heat.
We were out there today, and it was, 95? Felt like an 85 in Louisiana. That was nothing the LSU baseball team has not seen before. That was a weak 95.
Yeah, they had a lot of wind. You had some wind that was kind of blowing the ball around, kind of keeping you cool, as to say. But I guess the one thing you would notice from BP is some of the boys were sending some baseballs. I know it's BP, but that's a huge ballpark they're playing in, and they were putting some swings in today.
Yeah, for just a couple to name, Jared Jones obviously was crushing baseballs. How about Big John Pearson?
Oh, man, I
tattooed a couple of them.
I could see why. Like, I was talking to one of the SEC Unfiltered guys, and he was like kind of asking me about Pearson. Like, what's the deal with him? And like, why did he come in? Because they don't cover the team the way that we do. Like,
right.
Where we know kind of what LSU has to offer, who the guys are. Like, that's not the first time that Pearson has come up in a pinch hitting situation. I was like, it's not because of his defense yet, but he was getting work in at third base. But
looks good.
He did. I mean, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
But the thing that he does best is he can absolutely murder. Fuck.
I heard some. It's all right. See if it comes back to us. Stand.
I've been trying. Oh,
there it is.
go.
We're back.
It just wants me to get up. I swear
it does.
To God.
You're about to do it. You're about to get up and fix it. But
drastic.
Yeah, no. I mean, like you said, John Pearson was tattooing a couple balls. There was one where he got a hold of it, and I could hear some of the other guys that weren't hitting were out in the field tossing the ball around. And I heard, "Geez, John."
Yeah.
Like I said, he was. When I'm telling you, it was pinging off the bat of John Pearson. He was getting a hold of a couple, so they were hitting them well. Obviously, there was a press conference for both teams before both of their practices today, getting set up for tomorrow night and the rest of the weekend. And there's apparently a lot of discourse around what has been said the past few days from a press conference standpoint. I think Kate Anderson's comment yesterday got a good bit of run. I think both people that had put it out originally deleted it because it was getting taken out of context.
Yeah.
Where they I think Cade was asked, where is Coastal Carolina? He said he doesn't really know.
Or I don't know if it's North Carolina or South Carolina.
Right, fair enough. And look, I don't think that's any sort of diss. I don't think that's anything other than just genuinely not knowing where Coastal Carolina is. And we asked the question, Lloyd, do you know which Carolina, Coastal Carolina is in?
I believe it's South Carolina, but I really don't know either. Should
And
I?
No, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Christian?
I'm taking a swing at it. South Carolina.
I think it's
Yeah,
Are they in the
I'm pretty
SEC?
sure it's South
The
Carolina.
Southern Belt. What South Belt? What is it?
Sun Belt?
Are they in the Sun Belt?
no.
I don't know what they're in.
I've seen a lot of guys wearing Sun Belt shirts this weekend.
But Coastal Carolina is in Conway, South Carolina. So, yeah,
Yes.
it's in South Carolina. There you go. Everybody knows now. We're all good to go. Everyone knows the location of Coastal Carolina. No reason to upset anybody. And so I don't think it is it's too big of a deal. Then, obviously, there were the comments today at the Coastal Carolina press conference, and I'm going to play some of the audio from that because I think this one is a little bit different than Cade's comments. It's not as innocent, I would say. But I still don't think it's too much. It shouldn't be made into as much as it's being made into currently. Clicking back in and out, in and out. There we are. I don't think it should be made as big of a deal as it's being made right now. This comment here from
more of
Coastal
just
Carolina.
What you admire just as student athletes and
All right, there it is. We are back. We are battling through the connection issues currently. Appreciate everybody sticking with us right now as we're getting through it here in Nebraska. And the Airbnb, Cordell Music, Airbnb Wi-Fi, no bueno. We're getting there. We're getting straightened out, ready to go. Wi-Fi, no bueno. We're getting there. We're getting straightened out, ready to go here on this this Friday evening as we're approaching 5 p.m. tonight. But, yeah, that comment there was from Coastal Carolina at their presser today, obviously saying there's not much they like or love about LSU. And first off, problem with that clip is the question. I don't understand the reason for asking a question like that because, one, either you're going to get an answer of, maybe the correct answer would be, hey, they're a resilient baseball team, good baseball team, ready to get going. Which, if that's your quote, who cares? The reason that the guy was asking the question, in my opinion, was to get a reaction like that for clickbait. Like, that's got to be the reason the question's asked, right?
Oh, I mean, I think it could have gone one of two ways. You definitely gave them an opportunity to either say the right or the quote-unquote wrong thing.
Right.
But it was, it's something that I think that could have been innocent enough, but then the way that it was handled. And I do think there's some strong conjecture out about this Coastal team, whether it's been how the coaches handled press conferences, which has kind of been very, I guess, arrogant in a way.
Yes,
Like,
I would say. There's a difference between confidence
and like
arrogance.
cocky and like
Right.
But it's just this weird kind of disposition about
The Chanticleers.
yeah, and he's just kind of like he feels like he's trying to go out of his way to be a bit of like an asshole. And I don't understand that that's the approach if it's Coastal because they feel like they don't get enough respect. So if we don't get it, we're going to go out there and claim it.
Right.
I think that Coastal gets plenty of respect. Like, you've won a national championship. You've beaten LSU before. Like
26 straight wins.
and I think that that's some of the, like, I guess the slight on their part, too, is like we won 6 straight games. Like, nobody's talking about us. I feel like a lot of people are talking about you.
Yeah.
Just when you get talked about, you don't find it to be as respectful as you want it to be whenever it's been nothing but respect.
Right.
And so you're going out of your way to have this weird kind of the world against us mentality, but we're not underdogs. It's like, pick one. Right? Like, either the world's against you or you're underdogs. It can't be both. And so that's what it feels like whenever, like, like you said, the shant, like, let's say it with me. Everybody get it right. It's like, God, dude, like, oh. Like, oh. Like,
You want to unplug the blue cord from up? We're back. Yeah, no, I mean, Lloyd's right. Like, Lloyd just went on his soapbox and balled out for a second. He's right. Like, there is a difference between being arrogant and being confident. And I think right now, from the top down, just really the Coastal coach in general is towing the line right now. Like, it's close. You can take it either way. In my opinion, I don't understand why Coastal has this almost arrogance about them currently, because they are respected. I think the conversation, the discourse going in to the College World Series was Coastal was one of the 3 best teams. The 2 others were LSU and Arkansas. So I think Coastal Carolina has been respected throughout this entire run that they've had, and especially into the postseason to now the College World Series. So I don't really understand the mindset, and I think that they had an opportunity to kind of give a PR-trained answer, and they didn't, because there was multiple ways that you can answer that question without being, I guess, cocky in the sense of they were like.
Oh, no,
Well, I don't remember what the line was.
It's this woe is me versus, like, why don't we have any respect around the Chanticleer program?
Not a whole lot. Like, look, you're not supposed – like, I'm not saying you need to go out there and just praise your opponent like you're not about to play them. Like, you don't need to like LSU. But there are ways to answer the question that are just, I guess, more mature.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that they're this immature baseball team because I'm not trying to label them as that. But to me, that answer, and like I said, my first problem was with the question because it feels.
It didn't have to be.
But it doesn't have to be.
I am curious, though. LSU players get interviewed all the time.
Right.
How many interviews is this for those players? Is this one of their first ones of the year? Is this, their 5th?
There's no way.
Because, that was clearly, no one had an answer for the question they got asked. I would much rather, I'd be much more comfortable if LSU had gotten asked a question because I kind of know the answer that's going to come out their mouth. But I could be wrong on that too. That could be, the 300th interview of the year. I could be wrong on that too. That could be, the 300th interview of the year.
Yeah. Christian, I don't think you're completely wrong because I do think LSU is very media trained. Like, they put a lot of stock in this. I don't know how much Coastal is, but I just feel like that's pretty simple. I'm not the most media trained person. I'm not an athlete that's.
Definitely a weird piece of media that came out today. Is Dixie Normus, is that Brad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we still here? Yeah, no, look, I think that there were a million ways, and Lloyd's point before it started buffering again was if you want to be respected, you have to have some respect. And I'm not saying that they are a disrespectful and immature baseball program because of one answer, because like I said, they shouldn't have asked, in my opinion, that's a stupid question. But I feel like there were, like Fawn said in the chat, they could have said something like, yeah, we're super excited to get an opportunity to play a school as well-known as LSU to get our opportunity to show that we're a really good baseball team. Boom, period, done. And it's not even going to get posted. But the answer, the way it was answered, the giggle, it got turned into something that I don't think it should be. And I don't think that this is bulletin board material. I don't think Jay Johnson, LSU, Cade Anderson, Anthony, anybody in that locker room is looking at that and getting more motivated than they already were. These guys are locked in. We saw LSU before the Arkansas game. We were at practice today. We saw them again. They're locked in. They're out there working. They're loose in the way that that LSU was loose. They are ready to play baseball. This is not bulletin board material for LSU. LSU baseball, under the direction of Jay Johnson, does not need bulletin board material from a press conference to get ready to play in a national championship series. These guys are ready and locked in. They're going to go out there and ball regardless of what Coastal Carolina says in a presser.
But you've seen the way that LSU has handled other teams in these regards. And one team that really does kind of get LSU to play a little bit of a different way was Tennessee.
Right.
You've seen that. But look at the way that Arkansas handled playing against LSU after Arkansas and Tennessee just nearly went to blows after every game that they played. And it was whoa, Root's losing his fucking mind on the mound after pitching at Tennessee. You didn't see him do that once, or anybody really do that against LSU, or LSU do that to anybody else, because there's a level of hey, you're good, I'm good, let's go play. And so that's the way that LSU has kind of handled business. And on the other side of it, being close to the team like we have been the past week and a half, they approach the game a little bit differently. Like, it's not this full-on business approach
Right.
of, hey, we have to take everything super serious. We're going to be 15 minutes early to everything. They're so relaxed. There's music going every time. There's guys joking around. They're throwing the football again today. Like,
Yeah.
they're throwing football in the outfield. They're doing a bunch of, like, they're relaxed. They're a team that is, I don't want to say if they expected to be here, but they certainly aren't surprised that they're in the College World Series final.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it all year where it's like, this is kind of where this team deserves to be.
Yeah,
And now
I'm with
you're
you.
here, like, you have little checklists that you go down, and one was at the beginning of the year, it's to win X amount of games to be able to host a regional, then win your regional, then host a super regional, host your super regional and win it. And then it's go to Omaha. That's a huge checklist. And now the other part of getting into Omaha is winning in Omaha and winning to get to a College World Series final where LSU has thrived in what types of scenarios? Best of 3 scenarios. And you have a best of 3 against Coastal Carolina coming up, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is as good as it gets. Coastal Carolina announces their decision to start Cameron Fluker is his name. He's usually their game 2 guys. They're, from a stats standpoint, I would say their second best pitcher after Jacob Morrison, who's obviously got 17 starts. He's 12-0. Cameron Fluker, or Fluky, is their number 2 guy, Cameron Fluky. Let's see, I did do some research yesterday. I did do some work watching Coastal Carolina. He came in relief behind Riley Eichhoff against Arizona in game number 1. Cameron Fluky did. He is, like I said, he's got 16 starts, 7-1. He's got a 3.29 ERA in 95 2/3 innings, 74 hits allowed, a 109-22 strikeout to walk ratio. Batters are hitting .211 against him. He's got some really good pitches. His fastball is fast. He's a tall, imposing guy. Fluky and Morrison are both big guys. But Fluky's got a really good fastball. He's got a change that sits at around 82, 85. That fastball's about 97 miles per hour, so he's got a good fastball, like I said. But his ERA when facing Power 4 teams, like Carl Dunn says in the chat, is a 5.91. And look, to me, I don't think – I saw some conjecture on Twitter and social media that it seems as if Coastal is pitching off or conceding game 1 against what you would assume is Cade Anderson. I don't think that's what they're doing at all. Right now, in my opinion, these two teams are built and constructed very similarly. They have really good pitching staffs, especially their game 1 and game 2 guy, and Jacob Morrison and Cam Fluky. And Fluky is the real deal, and I don't think they're pitching him off. I think what it is Jacob Morrison came in, started against Oregon State, I believe pitched 7 2/3 against the Beavers, and you had Fluky who came in relief in game 1 against Arizona, which would have been last Friday, I believe, when games began. So it has been a good bit of rest for Fluky, their usual game 2 starter, and I would assume letting Morrison get the rest that he needs after going pretty extended in their game against Oregon State.
That's where you brought up an interesting point because, I mean, obviously you haven't seen Cade Anderson in a long time.
Right.
But you also haven't seen Anthony Einstein in a long time. You saw him continue to get warm. Kind of was in that scenario if LSU needed him, he might have come in out of the bullpen to be able to secure a win for you. Honestly, you didn't have to use him because of how good that LSU managed their bullpen scenarios and how good they put people in spots to be able to win. But it's not very hard. We're very fast.
Fair enough.
We're very off.
Was ripping him in
He
there.
was. But yeah, no,
Yep.
I'm not
Tingle,
gonna
what were you
pitch.
saying?
Yeah. Just because of the way that you posed the question, I thought it was an interesting talking point of what do they do with Anthony Einstein because he hasn't really pitched yet.
Yeah.
And I guess they're going to consider that still a pseudo start.
I mean, that was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw their decision go with game 2 guy. I was like, wait, Einstein's thrown 44 pitches. Obviously started against UCLA, rain delay happens. He doesn't get to finish that game. He's warmed up throughout the remainder of the week. Warmed up again for UCLA, and then he warmed up again for Arkansas, but didn't end up coming in and pitching those games. To me, Cade Anderson, he obviously got extended on, what day was that, Saturday? When LSU played Arkansas this past Saturday. So tomorrow would be a 7th day's rest.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's
he
on
almost
schedule.
needs to throw.
Right, so he is on schedule. Anthony obviously has been warmed up through the 44, hasn't gotten his true start. And so the first thing that popped in my head was maybe if this is Coastal saying, you know what, it's Cade Anderson, we're not going to use our guy against your best guy. Instead, we're going to somewhat pitch off, which I don't believe they are.
No, I don't think they are.
I think
either.
they trust Fluky just as much as they trust Morrison because he's got really good stuff. But if that is the thought, my first thing was, okay, I wonder what Jay Johnson and LSU are going to do in reaction, which I don't think they're very reactionary in what they do at all. But I wonder what their plan is. And the first thing was maybe you throw Ianson to get his game in here, game number 1, and go from there. Like, could Coastal Carolina be essentially playing for 3 games? Like, keeping Morrison in their back pocket to see what happens game 1. So if you lose with Fluky, you would throw Morrison game 2 because it's a must-win.
Right.
If you win with Fluky, you save Morrison for game 3 just in case. And you could maybe win without even throwing your best arm. Because there's a lot of, I guess, different ways to look at it. What I think they're doing is giving him rest because Morrison threw 7 2/3 on Monday.
Yeah.
Or Sunday. What day? I don't even remember. Sunday. And Fluky came in relief on Friday.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's just more of the structure of how everything worked out. Like, I don't think that it's we think we can beat LSU doing it this way or saving a guy. I think it's just more so who's the most well-rested guy we have and this is where the comparisons of LSU and Coastal kind of continue because they were built very similarly to where if you did see, that's what makes the question interesting because if you're LSU and you throw Anthony Ianson first, I don't think a lot of people would sneeze at that. And that's where the Coastal, they're both kind of that ace conversation of on your staff as the best guy. And now, so I don't think a lot of LSU fans would be like, oh, my God, you're pitching off. It's like, no, he's got more rest than he does.
Right.
And so that's where I think Coastal's at. And for LSU, I think even though you didn't get to see Anthony Ianson, you still have full confidence that what he can do in a baseball game and how he can help you as a starting pitcher. But I'm not turning to anybody but Cade Anderson.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is game 1. Game 1 is still as important as it was when you needed to win 3 games. It's as important as it was in the Super and the Regional. It's as important as it was
starting off 1-0 would be
season.
massive.
Like, winning game 1 is always of the utmost importance. You want to pitch you want to pitch your ace to get it started. Go win game 1. If you win game 1, even if Coastal does throw Morrison in game 2, you've still got Anthony Ianson to throw game number 2, ready to go. Right now, like we've said, you have 2 aces. So it's not really a conversation. Regardless of who they throw tomorrow, I'm ready. Like, whether it's Cade, whether it's Ant. Let's go. You've got 2 aces. And if they throw Cade and it's Ant against Morrison, I'm just as confident as I would be if it was Morrison versus Anderson.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got 2 legitimate guys. And you saw, in my opinion, Coastal's, I wouldn't say worst game because but from a hitting standpoint, they ended that game with 14 hits, but they only scored 7 runs against Arizona early in the game. Though it was really 4 up until I think the bottom of the 8th. They scratched those 3 across to take the lead against Arizona game 1. Arizona, I believe, threw a big lefty. I don't remember exactly, but just a little overview of who Coastal Carolina is. They are a dominant pitching team. That's who they are. If you were to ask me the 3 things that would be Coastal Carolina's identity, it would be pitching, clean defense, capitalizing on mistakes. Does that remind you of any team you've talked about ever before?
LSU.
It reminds me of LSU. It reminds me of Arkansas.
Yeah.
But really, it reminds me of LSU. That's who LSU is. Dominant pitching, clean defense, capitalizing on mistakes. That's who Coastal Carolina is. That's who LSU is.
It's winning baseball.
That's winning baseball.
2017 Florida.
Yeah, some numbers for Coastal Carolina coming into the tournament or into the College World Series. They were averaging a 3.21 ERA as a staff coming into the College World Series before they played Arizona, obviously, which was second in D1 baseball, with a 1.19 whip, which was third in college baseball, all coming in to the College World Series. And right now they have an 8% walk rate as a staff, which means they are only walking guys 8% of the time, which is very, very, very good. Because like who LSU is, who Coastal Carolina is, you want to capitalize on mistakes. Walking batters, giving free bases is mistakes. You saw in game number 1 against Arizona that capitalization on mistakes happened early on. In the bottom of the second, Coastal Carolina at the plate, single, an error on the bunt when the pitcher tries to go and catch a popped-up bunt, doesn't catch it, lands in fair ground, and ends up getting the bases loaded, and then a 2 RBI single after that.
And this matchup's a bit scary for LSU, too, because all year they've kind of struggled with putting good at-bats together in the sense that you take a lot of strikes or you swing early and give easy outs. And we saw it against Arkansas the other day. They were letting a lot of strikes be thrown at them before they jumped on Arkansas. And this matchup, I'll be the first to say it. I mean, this is a difficult – I wouldn't want to see this team right now.
Yeah, and look, the way I'm talking about this team is very similar to the way I talked about Arkansas. It's very similar to the way I talked about West Virginia, as they are teams who capitalize on mistakes. LSU has played some really clean baseball through that stretch. They go 2-0 against West Virginia. They go 2-0 against Arkansas. They play clean baseball. So those mistakes that Coastal Carolina's been capitalizing on, they're not really going to bet on those against LSU because that's not who LSU is. In game number 2 against Oregon State, I put capitalize in all. I capitalize. The top of the first.
Well, is
they
it
had
capitalized?
It's capitalized. The word capitalize is capitalized here on my page.
I feel like it should always be capitalized.
You think so?
The word capitalize, yeah.
Fair enough. In the top of the first, me and Christian were there, watched this with our own 2 eyes. The Oregon State shortstop, what's his name?
Iva Arquette.
Iva Arquette rips one over, airmails it over the first baseman. That's a reach on air, then a 4-pitch walk, then a hit by pitch. What happens after that? 3 RBI double with 2 outs. Like, that's who they are. You had somebody reach on error. You gave them a walk. You hit someone with a pitch. That's 2 free bases and a reach on error. So essentially 3 free bases, 3 mistakes in a row. What do they do? All 3 of those guys score on a double. Like, that is who they are.
Capitalizing on mistakes, but also just roping baseballs.
I mean, yeah, that was a really good hit.
Rope a double after that.
And in game number 1, they had 14 hits in game 1 against Arizona. And in all caps, singles. Like, they were hitting singles. They had one guy with 2 doubles. Outside of that, they were hitting singles 1 through 9. They were turning double plays. They were playing clean defense. They pitched well, but they were hitting the ball all over the place. Again, against Oregon State, they're up 3-1 at this point with those 3 runs coming off of a double. All 3 guys reached on essentially free passes. In the 4th and 5th, they had a run score on an error and a wild pitch. That's mistakes. They capitalize. In the 6th, they had somebody get hit by a pitch. That's turned into an RBI double. Like that, the runner that scores was hit by a pitch. They are capitalizing on mistakes. That's who Coastal Carolina is. You continue the Louisville game to clinch their spot in the College World Series final. They capitalized on mistakes once again. Single, hit by pitch, 2 RBI single. After that, another walk, 3 RBI double. After that, RBI single. Like, they continue to make teams pay for their mistakes. That's who they are. Continuous pressure. Capitalizing on mistakes. If you're going to walk batters, if you're going to hit batters with pitches, if you're going to make fielding errors, they're going to capitalize. And on defense, they turn double plays. They are excellent in the outfield. Alexander and Sykes in the outfield are both excellent defenders. They are really good. Behind the plate, they probably have the best catcher in the country in Bodine, who I don't know if you've seen the graphic. If you haven't, you need to look it up. It's the strike zone, and the inside of the box is completely blank. It's pitches all around the strike zone that he has framed and made them be called strikes. So, now if there's a weakness to this Coastal Carolina team, it's hitting with power, in my opinion. They've got 2 guys with 10-plus homers. Alexander has 10. Barthol has 12. They have not hit a single home run since they've been in Omaha. But they do hit 1 through 9. Like I said, they were ripping singles game 1 against Arizona with 14 hits. They've got 6 guys batting 290 and above, 4 of them 300 and above.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander, their outfielder, 27 of 32 on stolen bases. Sykes, 18 of 21. They've got a guy with 30-plus stolen base attempts and another guy with 20-plus. They've got 4 batters with a .900 or higher OPS. This is a very, very good baseball team all the way around, whether it's pitching, whether it's defense, whether it's hitting. They are very good. Now, what I will say, they have not seen anyone like Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson. And like I have said throughout the postseason and throughout the season, you are very confident in LSU because of those 2 guys. From a standpoint of 2 out of 3, you are very confident if you're LSU because of those 2 guys. Coastal has some really good pitching. They are a good offensive team. They haven't seen anybody like Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson. There's no one else in the country that's got a 1-2 punch like that. Fluky and Morrison are good. LSU's 1-2 punch is better. They have a really good bullpen. They've got Dominic Carbone, who will close games. They've got Ryan Lynch, who's a legitimate closer. 27 appearances. You know what his ERA is? .58.
Oh.
He's only allowed 22 hits, 35 strikeouts to 10 walks. He's got 19 saves. He's got a really good breaking ball. This is a legit team LSU is facing. They're constructed very similarly. They've got guys. So does LSU. Paul makes a good point in the chat. Coastal crowds the plate. Coastal is going to hug the plate like a fat kid on cake. They lean in. They've gotten called at least once on leaning in to get hit by a pitch. They are all up on the dish, man. They are going to make LSU earn it. This is a very good baseball team. And that's why what you heard in the press conference doesn't matter. That's not bulletin board material. LSU doesn't need that. Because what I'm looking at right now, they see. Jay Johnson's got him prepared for it. As good as Coastal Carolina is, they have not played a team as good as LSU. Oregon State was a good baseball team. Not as good as LSU. Louisville, pretty good baseball team. Not LSU. Now, you could say the same thing on the flip side. Has LSU played a team as good as Coastal? You could have a conversation about Coastal versus Arkansas. I think Arkansas is a pretty dang good baseball program. And they've got a good guy running it in Dave Van Horn. And I know Jay Johnson is going to have LSU prepared for everything I'm looking at on this sheet. All I'm looking at is numbers that I was able to find. Jay's got all that and more.
Yeah.
LSU is prepared and ready for this moment. And watching them on that field practicing today, I'm so excited to see what they look like on the field prior to the game tomorrow night because they look ready and dialed and comfortable and loose. And it's a good loose. Like LSU so far has not been headphones in, dead silent, like Kobe Bryant focus. You know what I mean? It's more of, hey, we can have fun. It's like an Anthony Edwards where he's joking around, playing around before the game. Doesn't matter. Once it starts, all business. LSU is comfortable in who they are as a team, who they have running it, and the fan base they have in the crowd. And, man, am I excited to see what it looks like tomorrow night.
Oh, absolutely. And when you talk about, like, the personality of the team, that's what it is. It's a team full of personalities. It's guys that don't want to – it's not cliquish. It's not like, oh, these 3 guys are always together or these 3 guys are always together. You don't see these 2 guys interact. It literally could be anybody at any point in time that they're all hanging out together. I think the chemistry is paramount in what LSU's trying to do. And then you put Jake Brown on the podium today, and he causes a stir because the national media hasn't seen him yet. They don't know what his personality's like. It's a big one. And he's talking about how Jay Johnson lays out a very specific plan. He goes, look, we're not scholars here. We're here to play baseball. And, of course, everybody takes that and runs with it. And his dad gets on Twitter and goes, Jake has a 3.7 GPA, so I don't think you have to worry about him not being a scholar.
The team's got a 3.0 like together.
Over 3.0.
Like,
and it's like, but whenever you put personalities like that in front of a microphone, like, if y'all haven't heard him talk before, then you'll be like, oh, of course, then it becomes LSU pays their players. LSU doesn't make them go to class. It's like, try to fucking have a little bit of a sense of humor about it because it's clearly not, he's not going to go up there and say something like Cordell Jones and go, I'm not here to play school. Like, the kid's smart. He's having fun in a moment where he doesn't really give a shit what y'all think. And that's what I think is the most impressive part of this team is because they're all that loose. Like, they're all in a spot where, oh, we can have a little fun right here. And Jay is the perfect kind of guy to be able to get that. Like, he just looks over at him, shakes his head. He's like, oh, God, of course. Like, that's what they've become. That's what they are under Jay Johnson. You can see that from the 2023 team to now the 2025 team where they have legitimate leadership and guys that make a difference. And you start to see all the people in the right places. And you put Jay in a College World Series, nobody wants to win it more than he does. Like, I know, I'm sure Coastal's coach would say the same thing. Prove it.
Yeah, let's see it. So we will probably have a pregame show and a postgame tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, we got to check on this internet situation.
Yeah, we're going to get it hashed out. We appreciate y'all sticking with us.
We got it. I mean,
today.
it's good now. It
Yeah.
might have been the cord.
It could have been. We did some troubleshooting. Appreciate y'all sticking through, battling
Good,
through with
yeah.
us.
Okay. I was
but-
upset earlier.
I know you were. Back to the headlines. America wants Coastal Carolina to win. I don't know if you saw the graphic. There was all the states in the United States. There was a whole lot of teal. I think there are only 3 states
Is LSU
in
hated?
purple. It kind of seems like it's more of a kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs, where
Well,
I don't think Kansas City's hated,
I would
but
say
they just
this.
win all the time.
I would say this.
Let's hear it.
When I'm going to compare it to college basketball. When Kentucky makes the Final Four, I'm rooting for Kentucky. Okay? I don't care who they play against. I don't care who the underdog is. I'm going to root for Kentucky. I would say LSU is similar in the sense that I find Kentucky basketball likable. I would say LSU is a very likable blue blood. I would say that's a false narrative that the entire country is rooting for Coastal.
Well, I
I don't
would-
believe that at all.
Well, no, I would say that it's not so much that people don't like LSU. It's that it's the I know they don't want to be called a Cinderella, but people love a Cinderella. Like,
Yeah, they
it's
are
a
still the
small-
underdog.
It's a small school against one of the, if not the perennial blue blood in the sport of college baseball, going for its 8th national championship versus Coastal Carolina going for its 2nd. And while if you pay attention to the sport, you know that Coastal's a good program. But I think it's everybody else goes, oh, it's David versus Goliath.
It's more of the average fan.
Right, that would look at this and go, oh, what a cool story, what a cool matchup. I want to see the little guy win. It's the Arkansas Little Rock versus LSU. It's like everybody was rooting for Arkansas Little Rock because it was a hell of a story.
Right.
Like, that one is even more believable in the sense of I'm rooting for the little engine that could or David versus Goliath because Arkansas Little Rock, they like on the surface, if you didn't pay attention, and who did until we had to, but they had a losing record. They had the worst RPI of any team in the field. And then they're bringing LSU, who is the #1 team in the country, to the brink and almost take their spot in Omaha. Like, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Coastal has run through this tournament. They haven't lost a game in 26 attempts. Like, it's not the little engine that could. These are the 2 best teams that when it was lined up, it was LSU, Arkansas, and Coastal. Like, because of the way the bracket was set up, I think everybody looked at the other bracket and goes, it's going to be Coastal.
Coastal versus LSU or Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And
Yeah.
now you have Coastal versus LSU. LSU has had to beat, and Coastal didn't really have that. It didn't have that. I don't know how you would say it. Would you say that they didn't have as much competition because they didn't have to face an Arkansas or an LSU on their side, or are they that good?
I think it's a mix of both.
Because they beat the doors off of Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, they ran it up in Louisville early. They took it to Oregon State, who was the highest national seed on that side of the bracket.
I think they're like 27-1 whenever they score first, something like that. But so is Arkansas.
It is 37-2.
Yeah, 37
when they score first.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And you saw this happen against what was it? UCLA.
UCLA was 27-1
27-1.
or 24-1.
When Anthony Ison goes up, gives out a 3 spot, and then the game gets. I guess you count that as the same game, even though
It is.
If you gambled on it, it seems like it wasn't. They voided my ticket, but that was it. That was a game in which UCLA, if they score first, they usually win. They scored first. LSU punches back immediately, 3-4,
Right.
boom, and you're starting to see LSU's offense show up. But I do think what the over/under is 9 in
Yep.
this baseball game.
8.5.
That's insanely low, and I think it's because of the pitching. Like, and you start to. Jay Mitch brought up a great point because of when this game will be played, where it's played, and the weather, where you start seeing some of those shadows impact what you do in the batter's box. Because he said it multiple times, Mikey said it multiple times. It's hard to hit in Omaha whenever it goes from sunshine to ball just disappears. And it's like, this is an adjustment you have to be able to make, and it's because the stadium is aligned the wrong way because some marketing person was like, no, you want to be able to see it when you cross over the bridge. It's like, nobody gives a shit. You flip the entire
catch
stadium.
baseballs.
Yeah, you flip the entire stadium the wrong direction. But, so those shadows will play a difference. You've seen what happened in the outfield. Like, that win will play a difference. And the guys that are playing in left field or right field have to really make an attempt to try to play the best version of baseball that they can when the elements are working against you for a reason other than it shouldn't be aligned the way that it is.
Yep. In other news, outside of baseball, LSU football having big official visits this weekend. Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, Tristan Keys, Kenny Darby, go through the list. Big weekend for LSU football.
Bradford
they've got
is
a lot of
coming
key
here.
guys. But Bradford is was supposed to come to LSU this weekend, is instead headed to Columbus. He's obviously Ohio State commit out of Catholic High here in Baton Rouge.
God, I could not give less of a shit about recruiting.
I understand. Through the 2 claps this morning, or not this morning, God, see how much my brain
It's
is
5 a.m.,
hardwired?
Yeah.
Nate Yeske in this pitching staff, for the second year in a row, LSU baseball leads the nation in strikeouts this year. 737 strikeouts as a staff. 2 claps, ready.
Yeski's been unbelievable.
Unbelievable. He's been excellent. Jake Brown with this offseason, Stats versus Arkansas this season. Obviously came up huge the other night to put LSU ahead in the bottom of the 6th. Against Arkansas, Jake Brown is 6 for 9, 2 homers, a double, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, 1 run scored. According to @TommyTanks3 on Twitter, he is the certified owner of Arkansas baseball. Jake Brown, 2 claps, ready. Next up, the fan base, LSU fan base, showing up at the pep rally yesterday, looked great. Kyle Peterson deserves 2 claps for this quote right here. We will play the audio. Listen up.
This LSU program might not be a vintage team relative to some of the others they've had. They were forced to an elimination game against Little Rock, and yet there's an institutional DNA down there in Baton Rouge, isn't there? That just the best comes to the surface when it's required, isn't it? That seems to be what I see. You tell me.
Yeah, they're built a little bit different. And it's just, when it continues to happen over and over and over again, then obviously, you start to think that you actually are built a little bit different. I mean, walk over to Rocco's and they'll show you another reason that they're built a little bit different, because you can just call it an insurmountable lead. Anytime they show up, it's going to be that. It's pretty crazy, though. These are 2 of the best programs in college baseball over the last 15 years. I mean, LSU maybe goes a little bit further than that, but they've had some classics, whether it's here during the regular season or Hoover at the SEC tournament. Man, this is one of the. There's games that you won't forget for a variety of reasons. I will never forget this one.
No, I mean,
That game was insane.
Unbelievable. You heard the crowd still rumbling outside as Kyle Peterson was trying to give that answer to SVP on SportsCenter after that game. But yeah, no, I mean, LSU is different as a program, as a fan base, as an athletic program in totality, different. And good on Kyle Peterson for giving LSU the flowers they deserve, because he's right. So 2 claps. Ready.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting setup by SVP.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. Love the answer. 2 claps for the pitching matchup we will witness this weekend. Like I said in the Coastal preview, LSU and Coastal Carolina are constructed. The first thing on the bullet list about LSU and Coastal, dominant pitching on both sides. So you're going to get to witness some really good baseball when it comes to pitching this weekend. 2 claps. Ready. Door, Christian. Oh, shit.
Bring your pistol.
Should I bring my mic?
No, I appreciate it.
All good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes. Wherever you want. No, it's not ours. We got it donated to us for the trip. But it's nice.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and it's like more expensive, but if I can take it in an RV,
Right.
I might get it from my house, but I don't know if they anyway, that's sweet.
Yeah, no. LSU baseball versus Coastal Carolina tomorrow. Appreciate all of you. We'll be live before the game. We'll be at the game. We'll come back. We'll be live after the game. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, be ready. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.